Hey guys, the other day I made a video called Why the Combat Sucks in Less Than 1 Minute, and in this one I'm gonna talk about how to fix it, and I'm also gonna address the people who wrote just don't spam. So let's start off by looking at how the system currently works. So with this system, if I were to press Q and then immediately press R, the game would save that R input for the entire duration of the Q, and then it would execute the R. The problem with this is that it's going to create a very noticeable gap between user input and the game's response, okay? And you don't want this in a video game. The character is supposed to feel like an extension of the user's inputs, and you know, this system destroys that feeling, and this is why people have been saying it feels clunky and unresponsive. So what we're going to do to fix this problem is this. We're going to drastically reduce the input lifetime on attack abilities, and we're also totally gonna remove it from reactionary abilities like dodge. And the only reason you're still gonna want to buff on attack, which I would say should be about 150 milliseconds, should be so you were able to combo them, you know, as the player needs to be able to tell the game to extend an animation before it runs out. And also it's gonna help players not waste time between attacks due to human error and some server lag. And so when it comes to an ability like dodge, you only really want inputs to be read the very moment they're pressed, right? If I press roll, it should either instantly happen or it shouldn't happen at all. Imagine you're in combat and you press roll and then you get hit and then the character rolls half a second later, you know? It's gonna feel extremely clunky. So this is basically how you're gonna fix that. So now I'm gonna address the people who wrote just don't spam, right? And the way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna introduce you to a few scenarios in other games, and we're gonna see how those games handle that, and then we're gonna take it back to New World and see how New World actually does it as well in the correct way, with one mechanic. So the first example is from Counter-Strike, right? Let's say you're holding a rifle and you run out of bullets, so you press reload, and during the reload animation you press mouse 1, which is the shoot button, but obviously the weapon can't go off. So my question is, what do you want to happen after you're done reloading? Do you want the gun to go off, or do you want nothing to happen, right? Obviously we're gonna want nothing to happen, and that's also how the game works right now, and the controls are super snappy and no one is complaining, right? Second example is from Mario. So let's say in Mario you jump, and then as you're in the air you press the jump button again. Obviously, as you can't double jump, nothing is gonna happen, right? But what do you want to happen once you hit the ground again? Do you want your character to jump, or do you want nothing to happen? Well, again, you want nothing to happen, because you don't want the game to react to old inputs, okay? So now you might say, okay, this is not Counter-Strike, this is not Mario, how does this relate to New World? Well, let's take a look at how New World actually does it well. And that is the shield mechanic, the right click, okay? If I were to attack right now and press right click in that animation, look how the game handles that. Right click, and nothing happens, right? After the animation is done, it doesn't pull up the shield. This is perfect, right? The game responds to the input by doing absolutely nothing, because the character at that moment is not able to use his shield. And so it doesn't save the input, right? It just gets rid of it. This is all I'm asking for on the other abilities, right? Either let the player do what they want to do, or say, okay, we are in an animation lock and nothing can happen, you know? And don't do it after like 1 second or half a second or 2 seconds. And that's how you're gonna fix like 80% of the clunkiness in combat, okay? And that's all I have to say, and you know, start discussing and all that again, and I'm interested to see what you think now. Bye.